Oh, hey, happy Monday, everybody. Your man Omid here with you once again to try to make sense of this crazy market that we are dealing with. So, buckle up and you're going to be smarter by the time I'm done with you. Here we go. Last week's market, as we talked about, there's a fair amount of vacillation here in the bond market right now, going up a little, cut down a little, up a little, down a little, looking for direction. Well, so as of the end of the week last week, because of the fact that the inflation numbers came in higher than expected, we lost some ground for sure. That ground here, as you can see here, was lost last week. It's picked itself back up, and here's this morning's ground that we picked back up. This was picked back up because of the fact that the ISM manufacturing report, which basically measures our country's manufacturing efforts, showed lower than expected. So things are starting to slow down a little bit economically. Add that to the second reading of the gross domestic product from a couple weeks back, and that kind of sets the precedent here. So this is a good sign for mortgages. Rates should be improving based on this. But again, we're not going to see huge improvements here, guys. I want to make sure that I'm super clear about that. From what it is that I can see, there's nothing that's going to really rock the boat for the better here. Take a look at what's going on with the rates last week. 7.14. What are they at today? 7.11. Basically flat. Jumbo rates basically stayed the same. The reason behind this is there is no catalyst to make things better aside from the Federal Reserve announcing something that says, hey, we're not going to raise rates anymore for good, and or we're going to lower rates. And I don't see that happening because inflation numbers are still too high. How can they lower the Fed funds rate that will spur on additional spending and make money cheaper when inflation continues to stay as high as it has been? So that doesn't make any sense. So what could change here? Good question. Excuse me. This is all about the jobs market from this point on, all of it, right? And so we have the ADP report coming out this week. That measures 250 million payrolls. So that's a truthful picture of kind of what's happening and how many jobs have been created. So that expectation is at 173. And remember, again, a lot of these things are here's the expectation. What does it come in over or under? And that makes the markets rally or crash, right? So that's what we are dealing with. Initial jobless claims expectation on Thursday for people filing unemployment for the first time, 215,000. It's been in that magical 212 to 215 now for 13 weeks with the exception of 1 week. So I think there's a little bit of bamboozling going on there as well. BLS jobs report expecting 190,000 creations with unemployment sitting at a 3.9. If that unemployment comes in and shows higher than 4%, then we can really start to look at the Federal Reserve making a difference in something. As long as that jobs front continues to be strong, they will not lower the Fed funds rate because that in and of itself is inflationary. Now, speaking of inflation, before I go on, please share this video. If you find value in all of this, please share this video with at least one person because there's so much noise out there and so much absolute false reporting of things that we need to educate ourselves as far as real estate professionals and or consumers and end users and buyers of homes and borrowers of money. So please share this with someone that you think would find it useful, okay? Year over year percentage changes in consumer price index. This is a very important thing that I want to show you. So take a look at this graph here. This is all other goods and services, right? And look at how high inflation was as a result of all this other goods and services. And look at what's happening right now. Look where we are in 24. That spread is very, very small, isn't it? But what isn't small is car insurance, which is through the roof and basically inflationary as all get out. And secondly, shelter costs, which includes folks' rent payments as well as what's called owner's equivalent rent. So basically, if you didn't own this house and you had to rent it, what would you pay for it, right? And so that is astronomical. And don't forget that the shelter costs make up 43% of the consumer price index and how much inflation is being reported. So those things is what is really holding this, and there's no way to control that. We can't fix magically something in the Fed funds rate to bring down car insurance. That doesn't work like that. So this is what we have to be aware of. So as this happens to us, then if we are aware of the fact that there is only a few things that can move this needle, then we start making some better decisions because people are waiting on the sidelines, waiting for rates to hit 6% magically. And based on everything that I've showed you right now, doesn't look like they will unless there's a significant event that happens. And we're in an election year, which anything can happen, right? But fact of the matter is, the longer than any of us as home buyers stay on the sidelines, because of the fact that there's low inventories, these prices of these homes will continue to go up, regardless of what's happening. Homes we're still selling at 8% interest, they'll sell at 7, they'll sell at 6. But when they start to get to 6, you're going to have a ton of other people competing against you as a buyer. So this is the reason why I want you to share these videos with people so they understand exactly what's behind this. Because you're going to blink and home prices are going to continue to go up and rates may or may not go down anything significant to make your waiting worthwhile. As always, we're just a phone call away. Give me a buzz if you want to talk about any of these things. Share, like, and subscribe to this channel. Let's get people onto these things so they can understand exactly what's happening and why, okay? Have a great week. Cheers.